How does everyone go about living? What's the one thing we need to know how the world works? Let me tell you a little story. There's a saying that a person can go mad walking across a field completely covered in white snow as a result of all things being the same. We as a human creature demand an abundant amount of variation to shape our thought. We expect a lot of changes from nature. We always ask for another, for something to change. If everything were to remain the same, we simply couldn't endure it since we're a dumb animal. Then what does it mean to be a living creature, and what does it really mean to be alive? Even when we just breathe, the dust in the air shifts. Everything we do changes the world from each and every present, no matter how small it affects. If you think about it in reverse, it means we must change and we have to create it to truly live. In 2025, we're boxed in 9-to-5 jobs, 12 years of school education, and political left and right, even our identities that have been naturally shaped. If you look just a bit into the future, it's clear that AI will create more boxes and tighten them even more. Although control itself hasn't been any different in the past, we've always lived under system, hierarchies, rules. But throughout history, humans have gone through countless changes and revolutions to get to where we are today. These days, it feels like we're living at the peak of human life. Although there's a ton of bad issues in the society that makes it seem like a dystopian ending, what I mean by the peak is the underlying fact that caused those conflicts. As we've been moving from past to the future, civilizations grown vaster, and almost everything seems to be settling into place. The more our world develops, the closer it seems to a surface utopia where even poor people can materially sustain their lives. Living become more and more sustainable. A majority of our desires will be easily satisfied. At this point, there is no need for individuals to act and move towards something valuable to them. Already doing not bad, option A and B both seems good. As people feel less need to move for change, this is exactly the path toward what philosopher Deleuze calls the exhausted human, simply a person who has no feeling about life. They don't have enough passion to do their own, even no will to change their life better. Only thing they do is feeling discomforts, uneasy, and complaining about them. Those are results of being passive towards stability, which tells us to do our part as a living being. Even if we're only walking in place, we must keep moving, and that's what it means to be alive. Breaking down into 3 steps, the first step is to approach ordinary things around you with a sense of awareness of how everything falls in the present moment. Observe interaction and see how cause and effect work in countless different ways of patterns. Just like smiling at your coworker and watching their mouth lifting up. The common assumption is that change is the opposite of what's normal. But when we break the idea apart, there's something pretty fascinating here. As we leave, we let old things go and allow new things to come in. That's inevitable unless we invent time machine to stop everything. Yet, in smaller piece, we just live another day every day, a mundane life. Things just happen and done, and you go, well, time passes, things just wrap themselves up. And you simply follow along something not knowing what's happening. But that something is what makes each of your days different. In everyday life, you might not feel any difference, but nothing actually happens the same. If you miss that something, you're not getting anything from your day. Maybe that's why it takes us 70 years to gain what we call wisdom. Wisdom isn't something so transcendent. The point is to sustain yourself, to hold on to your life mentally, while understanding what's going on. Nothing less or more than staying centered inside and fully in charge of own being. The second step is about taking action. The moment we recognize change, we naturally start to analyze it to find ways to survive within it. As you start noticing variations around you, you may want to ask, what do I want me to do, and what can I do here, what can I make? Here's when you dive in, starting planning, experimenting, and testing the world. But how is it possible? Think about the butterfly effect. How even the smallest action can create a massive shift. You're the possible butterfly who shakes their wings and brings tornado. Let's focus on small movements. Try say something different from what you'd normally say, or behave a little differently from how you and other people usually do. Ask yourself questions that you've never been asked before. Your life is an open world game, so why not give yourself new options and let them possibly do you a favor? In any crowd, there is always someone who moves or speaks first, and then everyone else follows, turning it into something massive. This is the power of small actions. Once in your life, you should be the one who starts the spark. A lot of things pressure us to stay in the box, telling us to do in the way we always do. Losing your sense of familiarity and facing the new is a stress itself. It takes real courage to step outside of that. But remember, everything has its own kind of beauty and value that it's so worth pursuing. We have to keep moving forward by learning new things and gaining insights that capture our attention. Even going backwards sometimes. Whatever, in the end, we're just setting out on a journey in search of another forms of happiness endlessly. This mindset can be the foundation for how we deal with the external world, feeling awkward, hesitant, fear that comes with unusuality. Speaking of external factors, we often long for something to be forever or desperately want to protect something. But life still always goes in unexpected ways. Like when someone you love is gone, maybe your parents one day. It's cruel that you'll still be there the next day anyway. You're the one who leads your own life. You close one chapter and begin the next one literally in any way. Lastly, let's look at how individual changes connect to the broader flow of society. Compared to the previous century, if the last era was a march, today feels more like a treasure hunt. To find that treasure, people are now scattered in different directions, searching for their own kind of happiness. I love living in 2025. This is how we contribute to life by seeking on value and appreciating the world. One thing to add here is there are a lot of chaos happening everywhere, social unrest, political conflicts, just something so crazy that make everybody stand up. But perhaps in a positive light, those struggles are what remind us that we're alive in the present. Whether in joy or in pain, when the world is going somewhere, we shouldn't ignore it. Remember what the heroes of history have prepared for us. Look at all those buildings here, the roads, vehicles, the whole city. None of this appeared just because time has passed. They were made through the knowledge, effort, and dreams of countless of people who knew what it was and what they had to do. It's such a miracle that individuals can now take full charge of their own life, directly interact with the world, being able to stand for their opinions and make their idea happen. What a nice show where we become a main character and stretch out as a director and a writer of your own life.